I don't know what post it was, but I've seen a couple of these posts floating around the Twitter sphere, and yeah, I can't find any of it right now. But I swear I've seen talk, and I've heard netizens speaking on Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
So apparently someone somewhere has heard that there is there's strong interest within WWE for Powerhouse Hobbs, and I guess I wanted to know if you had heard about that.
Of course I have. I've even commented on it on the Facebook page, followed the Facebook page. Yeah, everybody's in her. Well, who wouldn't be? Especially WWE, who don't really have much to offer people in terms of, like, big men. Because, people aren't really doing that. I don't know. Everybody is lean.
Yeah.
Wrestlers nowadays, for the most part, are much leaner than they used to be, while Hobbs has what I would define as a more classic wrestling body. Yeah, no, I've heard about it. I don't think there's a whole lot to worry about in terms of that. But they also want Moxley, apparently. They can have him, though.
No, I don't want them to have Moxley. I don't want them to have Hobbs either. I think there's a lot going on with Hobbs right now. Like, he's involved in some of the biggest storylines we have. Freaking, he is working with Swerve and Hangman, and all of them are working against them. But in the sense of storylines, his storyline is working with theirs. And so it's like some of like the biggest stuff that's happening right now. And I think it's really elevating him. We're seeing him more and more on not only, I feel like we used to see him more on Collision, and now I feel like we're seeing him more on Dynamite. I could be wrong on that, but I don't know. I feel like he's doing so well lately, and I really love seeing him. And I think his wrestling has just improved more and more. And it is, I don't know, his physique is undeniable. So it is like, I don't know, we have a couple big men in AEW, but he is one of those like pillars of the big men, I would say. So I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose Mox either. I don't know. It's not like I like Moxley, but he's, pillars. Speaking of, I feel like he's one of those like big AEW guys. Like, it would be a big loss if we lost him. I feel like we would, as fans watching the show weekly. I feel like we would miss Moxley because he's in every show. You can't escape Moxley in the Death Riders.
He's a tool, and I don't like him. I don't hate him. I hate a lot of people. I don't hate him. He just annoys me. But he won't go back. Well, I don't know. When he left, he did some interviews talking about how like I was supposed to make some big money, and they asked him to leave or something. And like, you're asking me to walk away from all this money and shit. So I don't know. Maybe there's a price big enough.
Maybe, yeah.
But at that point, at this point, I don't think WWE just has money to just be fucking throwing around willy-nilly. So if they were going to give him an offer, they would do it. Like, it would be a huge offer. It would be a massive fucking offer.
I think it would have to be. But I also think that they probably see an inherent value in him. They know that if they took Moxley from AEW, that would be huge, because he is just a giant cornerstone of pretty much every plot and pretty much every episode. Freaking, the fans love him, whether, however we feel about it, people fucking love Moxley. And, it would be a huge loss, like I said earlier. So I think the WWE realizes that, and I do wonder if they wouldn't throw a pretty large sum of money at that to try to be petty, because it feels like something they would do. Hopefully not. We'll see how it shakes out. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much talk right now of people switching companies and people moving and jumping ship and contracts being up and yada yada. Because I guess that's the whole thing, is Moxley's contract is coming up on an expiration or something.
So, yeah. Well, it's one reason I don't really, even back in the day, I never really understood people only wanting one wrestling promotion. I mentioned before, me and WCW, and it's good to have that competition. Even if for no more reason, right, than the potential for more people to show up, new people to end up in places that they didn't think they would end up. Fucking Samoa Joe and AJ Styles are two examples from TNA. They were TNA bigwigs, and now AJ Styles is WWE, and fucking Joe is AEW. But even still, they got their start in TNA. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of the coolest things. Like, we can switch people off that. And there's nothing wrong with somebody leaving one place and going to another to see what it's like, and maybe finding success, potentially not. I know a lot of the AEW alums that have gone over to WWE have done fuck all. Ricky Starks and Mariah May, to be exact.
Yeah, I've heard Ricky Starks hasn't done extremely well, but that is, I am on a skewed side of Twitter. Like, I do see mostly AEW positive stuff, so I can't admit that. AJ Styles is either he is going back to or just appearing in, but AJ Styles is going to be in TNA again, at least or something. I saw that on the Twitter.
Like, I'm pretty sure he's coming up to the end of his career. And I would not be surprised if he didn't want to end it in WWE.
Yeah.
Would rather end it where, like, he got his real start, which is cool. That's how I would want to do it if possible.
All right. Well, we're 1 week into the year, into 2026, and we have officially had 2 collisions and 1 Dynamite since our last recording. So, what do you think? What do you make of Collision on January 3rd? The first Collision of the year, the first AEW show of the year.
Maybe it's just because it's Collision. I don't know. I mean, it was a serviceable show. It was all right. It wasn't breathtaking. There weren't a whole lot of super crazy moments. I have some notes, so there were some moments, but for the most part, it was just my thoughts about, kind of different things. Nobody really set me off. Like, there was nobody I was super antsy to have win, except maybe like Big Bill and Brian Keith. I like them together. I don't think they won though, because Jet Speed. And other than that, it was just a service. There was good wrestling. There's good wrestlers on the card. There's no blood and guts, that's for sure.
No, it was certainly not blood and guts. It was just a random collision. But I thought it was a fun show. I don't know. In the moment watching it, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't wasn't keen on any particular people winning, but I don't know. I was more interested in the matchups, like Big Bill and Brian Keith and Jet Speed. I thought that was a great match. I think Big Bill is scary. I think he is a monster, and I think we need that monster. Like, I want to see more of him doing things. I want him to be in some bigger plot lines. I don't know. And Brian Keith, I really, really like him. I think they complement each other well.
They do. They work well together. And I think, honestly, if they decided to maybe have a little bit more fun with it, Brian Keith could be a character we see fairly regularly. He doesn't even have to win. All he needs to do is just play into the bounty hunter thing. And I don't mean just talk about how he's some, Western dude, bounty hunter guy, have like an office. I'm thinking akin to like an APA door that they just move around and various people. I mean, because there's all kinds of beefing going on between all the various factions of AEW. And, sometimes, like I could see Don Callis being like, I don't want to get nobody's hands dirty, so we're just going to send the goons out. That being Brian Keith and Big Bill, because, they got to go collect that, but they got to make that money.
Yeah, like an actual bounty hunter shtick, like a whole bit. I think they could do a lot with that, and they could get involved with so many more like random wrestlers. Like, you could have so many more quote unquote random feuds, even though they wouldn't be like feuds that built up with like actual anger behind them or something. It's just them doing their jobs. That's a very different way to have fights and have it make sense, instead of, here are just 2 random people we paired together because this is Collision.
Spilt your coffee on my suit.
Yeah.
Now I gotta fight you. And I don't agree with the ending of that match. And I think fucking Jet Speed is already over. Jet Speed's, liked by everybody. There's good. They would not have lost any momentum by losing that match to Brian Keith and Big Bill, but they would have, or Brian Keith and Big Bill would have been able to gain some momentum off of that. People would have been like, wow, look at them. They beat Jet Speed. I wonder who else they could take on. And, that kind of thing. I think missed opportunity. Jet Speed's already on fire. They could have lost that match and been just fine.
Yeah. I think they could have taken one loss amongst so many of their wins lately. And I do agree. Like, they're on fire right now, as they should be. But let's give some other people a chance to shine, in my opinion, because Big Bill and Brian Keith really did shine in that match. They were doing some crazy impressive stuff, and they were keeping up with Jet Speed just the same as, just at the same pace that Jet Speed goes, which is pretty impressive, I think, for especially Big Bill's size. One thing I think that we both just noted, especially you in the moment, the new stage. We have to talk about the new stage.
I do really like the new setup of both Dynamite and Collision very, very, very much.
Me too. I think it is exactly the right move. Like it just feels like a really nice refresh that I wasn't even expecting, like new year, new set, but it happened and I'm glad it did. I think it looks really nice graphically. But my thing is, I noted, that day on the 3rd here for Collision that I really hoped that it was unique for both Collision and Dynamite. And later on, we'll see on the 7th, it is slightly different for Dynamite. So each show has their own like unique identity and somewhat kind of branding, which as a designer, I really appreciate.
I'll be honest with you. SmackDown ever broke down and brought the fist back, I'd watch it one time just to see what the stage looked like.
I guess I'd watch too. I'd have to see the fist.
Just for once, like just for the one time, I'd go ahead and I'd check it out. But that's the only thing they could do. Short of digging Hogan up from the grave and actually, giving him the world championship. That's the only thing they could do.
Wow. simple, small asks.
I have but one request. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. Maybe light necromancy. It's fine. Yeah, as much as I feel like I remember enjoying watching this Collision in the moment, even going back through my notes, I don't really. There wasn't a whole lot of like meat, I would say, as far as like story progression and new information. I will say we did see a new women's tag team, Hyen and Maya World. So like, I don't know them from anything. I don't know where they come from. But I did have some good notes on them. I don't know how much you paid attention to that match. But they were fighting against the Love Bombs, so Mina and Tony. And I don't know, I liked their attitudes. Like wherever they come from, again, I don't know the wrestling outside of the short amount of it that I've seen this year so far. But they had this like confident air about them. They had really nice, I don't know, cool looking gear in my opinion. And I think they just seemed put together and like they were confident. Now that being said, I know you notated that they were very green in the moment. Like you could tell they are fish out of water in their depth, I think. But I do think they had that attitude of like confidence. Like, yeah, we might be new, but we can hold our own, maybe. I will say there was at least 3 moments that I counted towards the end of the match where both of them, Hyen and Maya, were standing just right beside each other, either outside or inside the ring, basically waiting to catch Mina in a move that made Mina look good towards them, like she was kicking both their asses, but they basically just waited there to catch her. And I thought that was interesting.
You know what? That's fun, because that leads to a note that I have, because again, I notated some things about just how I was feeling, and I am over the springboard fucking moves. I am over anybody. I was thinking about it today or yesterday watching Collision. If it was me, I would tell whoever I'm getting in the ring with, here's how it's gonna go. If I have enough time to watch you run at me and jump at me, I'm going to move and you're going to bust your ass. That's just the way it is. Because kayfabe or real life, nobody is just gonna stand there and watch somebody, but then you get groups of people to do it. 2 or more people, and they're all just in this weird huddle, and you're like, I bet. And sure enough, not seconds later, somebody will be jumping onto them, because it's like, why else would people just be gathering up in a huddle like that? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look natural. Everybody does it. Every match has it. I'm over it. I'm big time over it. Figure it the fuck out. If people have time to watch you gear up, I hate to like, here, look, I'm fair. I love Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is one of my favorite people on the roster. He does the chair thing where he slaps the chair a few times and sets it down. Yeah. No, that's when he jumps off the turnbuckle and does the elbow drop. Oh, okay. This is when he puts the chair and then he'll jump off the chair
I know the
outside the ring.
I just don't know the name.
And I like that. Even you, Mark, stop it. Like, if I had time to sit here and watch you clank that chair 6-7 times and then get a run and jump at me, you were busting your ass. That is just how that's gonna go. I hate the shit Joe does where he just walks away from people jumping at him. I get why he does it, but I hate it. But boy howdy, that's the moment right there. I've had time. The audience is watching me bumble about for like fucking 15-30 seconds while you get ready to jump at me. I'm just gonna fucking move. And I think everybody should.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm over the springboard jumps.
I do completely agree with you. It is the most unbelievable thing, like, that I feel like AEW does, at least consistently. And they do it, like you said, every single match. It is very rare that you see an entire match all the way through where somebody is not doing that over the ropes into somebody, at least one person, if not two or more, a group of people's arms, just catching them.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, one person, I can believe that. And I can understand one person, right? Like, I was actually thinking about, I was trying to imagine a situation where I run out of the ring and my back's towards the ring and I'm leaned up against the ring post or the apron and I'm catching my breath. I look like I'm tired. You have time. That's your moment. Start getting a run at me, because as soon as I hear your feet coming to me, I'm going to turn around and be surprised, because that's logical. I rolled out of the ring to catch my breath and I got jumped by from behind. That makes sense. One person makes sense. Why do I need 50 people to catch me? Just fucking don't stand there. Do something, anything. It pisses me off so bad. But yeah, like I can make leeway for one person. Like, if you're jumping to one person, you can do that right, where I'm not gonna be like, damn, that fucking ruined my immersion.
Yeah.
But it's rare, because it's always it's how often is it just one person?
Never. It's very rare that it's just one person. But it's not rare that it happens, and I feel like you're saying, we could believe it more if it's just one person and you didn't do it all the time. It would have to be something a little more special. And I think that's the thing about that entire move, that entire whatever, that entire spot. It's not special anymore. It's certainly not special. So, boo to that. Collision was mid. I mean, fun start to the year. I enjoyed watching it, but it was okay.
2 notes before I move on from that. In quotes, into mother's milk. I've decided I hate that phrase. I've decided I hate Marina.
Okay, well, I've got opposite notes that I wasn't gonna get into, because I figured we should move on. But if you're gonna bring up mother's milk, I got 2
small notes, and one of them is in the phrase "into mother's milk."
It's being said more and more. Okay, so my actual note about Marina is, oh man, I'm likely not going to actually say this. That means on the podcast. Here I am. But I don't know, after so long of them trying to make Marina look strong and big and bad, it's kind of working on me. Oops. I had one more note about her towards the end of the show, and basically, I don't know. It's something that I feel like I don't get to do a whole lot with wrestling, because I am not a child. I'm a 31-year-old woman, and I don't get to, I didn't have wrestling as an option for myself as a child. I never watched it as a kid. So I was not able to dream and be like, one day when I grow up, I'm going to be China or something, I never got to do that. So sometimes as an adult, I just kind of try to view things through that lens a little bit, just to again, make wrestling a little bit more fun, like we were talking about last time. And just something about Marina, in these last couple times we've seen her, I feel like she's changed her style up a little bit, she's dressing a little bit more edgy, and she's certainly acting a certain edgy way overall. She's definitely getting some more character, being more bold and open the last, I would say, 2 or 3 months. But the last 2 or 3 weeks specifically, I just know that little baby Amber watching AEW, if I could in this moment, would absolutely want to be Marina Shafir. I would want to be the problem. I would want to be the badass chick that can run with all the dudes, beat them up just as much as I could, beat up any chick, and fucking, I don't know. That's who I would look up to in this moment, other than Willow. I mean, I'll always look up to Willow. That would also be my choice there, because she's just my perfect aesthetic. But that badass, more, I don't know. When I was a kid, I was called a tomboy. So I don't know. I kind of get the Marina thing. She's coming around to me. So that's my polar opposite take on Marina there.
Awful. My second note was Lance Archer holds a dude's head to his crotch for an uncomfortable amount of time, and I hope that guy's okay. Lance Archer, you're a fucking weirdo.
Lance Archer and whatever, I mean, I guess it's just a weird, handful of the Callis family. Every time we see them lately, they're up in the back, just beating the shit out of
everybody.
Yeah. But Lance, he did have a moment there where he just like held a dude's head to his crotch for an uncomfortable amount of seconds.
Now we can move on.
Okay, well, that takes us to Dynamite. So first Dynamite of 2026. I don't know. There's the card. There's a lot happening here. We've got a lot of appearances and we'll hear from's kind of thing, I think. Like we've got Willa's celebration that happened. Like MJF appeared. I have my thoughts. But anyway, Jim Ross returns and he got his own intro, which I thought was really fun. He had a song and graphics and everything. I think he did great the entire time. I was really enjoying his commentary.
Good old JR. It's always good to see him around.
It is.
No, I feel like the past. I mean, it's the start of the year. Everybody's in a lull because you just got done with New Year's, and there's a lot going on, getting ready for what's to come in the upcoming year. So I mean, all of the cards we're about to cover, like I feel like they were good. There's some good matches. There's some good wrestlers, but for the most part, there's not a whole lot of story being told. I mean, minus like the lights out match, which in all fairness didn't really need to be called that. There was no real reason to like, yeah, there was some light weapon use, but I mean, in terms of the matches I've seen Swerve and Adam Page take part in, that was tame.
Yeah, very tame in comparison.
So, I mean, but they got their story, the stops versus the what I'm calling AEW's two-man power trip, because I think Swerve and Hangman are like the top tier of AEW's talent right now. Either one of them could be our world champion, and I would be okay with that. But at this point in time, Doink the fucking Clown could be our world champion, and I would be happier with that decision than MJF.
God, you hate the man. Like I said, I have thoughts just on him and how his first appearance as our world champion on Dynamite went. Terrible. It's just him talking. It's the same thing. It's I'm bigger and badder than you. I'm cooler than you. Har har. I'm so funny. You suck. I've liked it for a really long time, but I guess I'm starting to see what you've been saying all along. Like he's been doing the same thing literally since we started watching AEW, and I think he's been doing that gimmick even longer than we've been watching AEW. So it's like, God, you are really, really one note right now. And I want to like that, like, unashamed arrogance, because I do think it's befitting of the character that he's built there. But it's like, could you wrestle, please? Could you wrestle, please? Could you please wrestle? Hey, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, maybe wrestle. If you are better than us and we are supposed to know it, maybe show us.
Show us that. I agree.
Just a little bit. I'm getting annoyed because when he won the world championship again, when he took the belt at the end of the year, I said to myself then and you, I need to see him do something good with that, because I really, really like MJF. I would consider him one of my favorite wrestlers, if not my favorite actual wrestler overall right now of this current time period. But I haven't seen him wrestle, like really, really wrestle the way that I thought I have seen him and know I've seen him wrestle before. So what I needed from him coming out of winning the world championship was for him to immediately defend it. Immediately. Right. Statlander won the women's championship, and immediately after that, she had to defend it against who? Tony again. Like literally the same person she won it from. Let's, even if it was him and like Samoa Joe the next night or something, make MJF wrestle, defend that title, do something about it. Don't just fucking go out there and talk to Bandito. And I mean, the star of that entire moment was Bandito, because he's like, fuck you.
I speak English, bitch.
Speak English, bitch. That was a beautiful moment. It was so fun. And yeah, fuck MJF. I mean, I want to see you wrestle. Fuck MJF. That's my note there.
Other than that, Jon Moxley gets a win. Shelton Benjamin lost. I think that's bullshit.
I hated that. I truly hated that. I was very excited. I remember watching Collision at the beginning of the year thinking, oh, I'm really excited to see Moxley and Shelton Benjamin. And I thought it was an okay match. It was a pretty good match. But no, the ending of that was absolute trash, I thought. Literally, the note I have here is Moxley still under his has to win 1 out of every 3 matches clause? Because that's how it feels. Feels like he has to win at least 1 out of every 3, or maybe 2 out of every 3 he's in. Like an unprecedented amount of wins he gets against everybody he goes against. And I really feel like Shelton Benjamin did better than him during that match.
Yeah, I mean, really, outside of the lights out match, the MJF thing, AEW should. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about him because it's not that I hate him because he's like good at his job or anything. No, it's just I hate him because everything I've ever seen from him is bad. So the only time I'm going to give him is AEW should fire Sammy Guevara. Stop letting him fucking waste his time on your TV, on Ring of Honor, or send him somewhere else. Let him fucking flop in WWE. Who cares? But the Willow celebration, my evening was made by that little interaction.
That was really good. That was the second time around at least Harley Cameron that we've seen Mercedes go face down into a cake.
I think she likes cake at this point, but no, I'm here for the downfall of Mercedes. She's losing her ever loving mind, and it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, and you know that whole ordeal, the one picture where she's just laying on her back, she just didn't even fucking move. She just decided I'm just gonna hang out here for a second.
That entire thing was such a well done performance, in my opinion. First of all, coming out there in the morning gear with the sniffles and the blah blah blah, ridiculous. And then our girl Willow has the good grace to babe her up, to stand there and say, you know, you've done all this, you've accomplished all this. Ooh woo, Mercedes, you're the best.
Woo,
and then
woo.
And then Mercedes, what is she gonna do? Throw a fit, throw an absolute toddler tantrum out there in the middle of that ring. And yeah, you know what happens to bitches who do that after they get babed up? Fucking, they get thrown into cake, and then we do a conga line around them. That's what happens.
Party time.
It was a great celebration. I thought that was a really fun moment. That was definitely good. And yeah, Mercedes is on, God, quite the downfall right now. So it you love to see it. It's very fun.
So I say mid Dynamite, not like mid, closer towards the better side. It wasn't that it was bad. It just, I need more story stuff right now. I need more story stuff. I need more people giving me actual storylines, because at the end of the day, that's what I really love about wrestling, is the storylines. The athleticism is its own thing.
Huh.
I'll do it one day. But the storytelling, ooh, if I could just get into a writer's room, ooh, I'd make so much money.
I wouldn't be ready for you. I think storyline wise, though, I mean, it wasn't so much spoken out loud with words, but one thing that was awesome to see again was Jack Perry wrestling with the Young Bucks proper. Super Kick Party Young Bucks. They're back. Their renders on the AEW roster page are reflective of that now. Like, they've already updated their renders. Like, everything is like blue and green and neon, and they are like Young Bucks in their prime. Love to see that too.
Love to see it.
Friggin' Money Cannon. Just
random, but love to see.
Love to see it. It was just fun to see them. Like, they're doing so well, and everybody's so happy to be behind them, and they're being good guys again. So it's good to see them have like full entrance, full pyro, full money cannons. You know the shit. So the lights out match, freaking. I mean, it was somewhat underwhelming, like you said, in comparison to the last lights out match we saw between Hangman and Swerve. That, I think you made a good point of it when we were watching this Dynamite. It was during a pay-per-view, I think, that match. So I believe they had a little bit more leeway with like the violence and like whatever, you know, they were doing in that situation. This was on live TV. And it also, like, I don't know, like the last lights out match, we saw the lights turn off, and they made this big point to say like everything outside of this is not, you know, AEW doesn't have anything to do with this. It's unsanctioned or whatever. And then this match, it was kind of like, okay, here's the main event, and there was no like warning beforehand or like, you know, what you're about to see, blah 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 blah. And then the lights didn't really go off and then come back on. They kind of stayed like off like halfway.
No, they turned them completely off, but it was literally you blink and the lights are back on.
Okay.
It's like, why even? And then I guess maybe this arena, because some people said during the Willow thing that the lighting was fucked up. I guess this arena just had some lighting issues. But if you ask me, it needs to be like that all the time. Dark in the crowd, light on the stage, or the stage in the ring. You know, focus on the wrestlers. You know, everything else should be kind of dark. And I mean, it kind of is. I've been to a few shows. I know, but I mean, I don't know. There was just something. It was like kind of like a concert for a minute. You know, the lights were off. Everybody was just doing their own thing, and it was just about what was going on in the ring. I did like that, but I think it was an accident. I don't think they meant to do that.
Yeah, it's unclear whether that was on purpose or not, but I kind of liked it. Well, at first I didn't like it. I didn't like the lights being off. I felt like I was missing the action. I couldn't really see everything that was happening because it was a lot of wrestlers around the ring in the sense that it was hard to keep up with the individual, fights that were going on anyway as a whole. But then with the lights off, it felt even harder to keep up with it. And then the lights fully came back on at some point, and it was just like any other match we had seen that night. And part of me was like, damn, I kind of miss the lights being wonky like that, because at least it was different. It was making that match like stand out in its own way. I mean, it stood out in the sense that they had like, I don't know, a pallet of 3-ton cinder blocks or something. Just toss that casually up into the ring. Hangman and Swerve both can't get that into the ring. It's so heavy. That wasn't like anything else we saw that evening. But other than that, yeah, I thought the lights thing was just an interesting note. So that leaves us with Collision, which we just saw last night because we're recording on Sunday. So this was a Saturday night Collision. It was a 2-hour Collision. So I think, as far as I can tell, we're just at 2 hours for Collision now. We have 2-hour shows a week, which I don't
apparently,
mind.
Not to cut you off, but apparently I was looking it up earlier trying to find the card, and Tony Khan just roguely added 3 matches to this Collision.
Oh, okay.
For seemingly no fucking reason. I don't know which ones he just added.
Okay.
But there are 3 matches on the card that I guess he just decided, like, man, hey, it would be cool. Y'all go out there. We'll go over. We don't care.
That's fine. We can run it longer. Well, that's fun. I don't know. I kind of like the spontaneity of that. Like, if that's something that might happen more in the future.
Give me more surprise matches.
Yeah, I like that. I think there's a benefit in having a card in a sense. Like, I don't hate seeing a card before a wrestling show sometimes, but I have gotten to where I prefer not looking at the card before we watch Dynamite or Collision, because I like to be pleasantly surprised with who I'm going to see on my TV. I like the entrances, the music. The second the music hits, it's like this fun thing that happens where I'm like, I recognize them. I know them. And you, like, if you know the card, you don't get that same kind of oomph.
Here, I'll go over, because I have a list of all the matches, including the ones that were added. So we saw Death Riders, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, Garcia, beat Skyflight. Brody King beat some rogue dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that's worth mentioning. I mean, that was a literal squash match. Like, that was a 3-second long match.
Clone defeated Commander, which I think kind of sucks. I think Commander is much better than Clone is. Now, granted, I've only seen Clone wrestle a match, but I noticed it.
Clone wrestled the first Collision of the year. We've seen him wrestle a couple times now.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's only wrestled once in between now and then.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed in his first match, everybody was so quiet. Nobody was really reacting. It was a very weird thing. He was not, I think honestly what had happened is everybody just kind of was like, this would be a whole lot better if Hologram was here.
Yeah.
And
I feel it a little bit.
I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, okay. I guess like, yeah, he got a little win over Commander, but like, I don't know. I'm not interested. Now, granted, that might have to do with him being one of the 5,000 people in the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was not the best. Then you got Mina versus Lady Frost. Mina won, got the flowers. That was fun.
Flowers. I feel like Lady Frost didn't get the respect she deserved. I don't know. I remember seeing her a couple times a couple years ago on AEW TV, and she had a whole entrance and everything. And it felt a little lame for her to not get an entrance. Like, she was just another, I don't know. I don't want to use the term jobber, but that's how it made her look in that moment, which I think is a little bit of a bummer for her. I think Lady Frost is at least a little bit better than that, but
Lady Jobber's more like it. No, I'm just playing.
Damn.
But no, I thought the same thing, because I definitely remember her getting the intro treatment sometimes, and it's like, damn, you have really fallen down the card, haven't you?
Apparently, which sucked.
But then you have Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale.
You got the Cosmic Babes of Wrath.
Cosmic Babes of Wrath. And against the Maya Hyan and Vert Vixen.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure who that last one is. She is new to the party.
Yeah, definitely new.
It was an all right match. It was a good match. It was good. See, that's the thing about all of these matches. The reason all of these cards are mid closer towards the side of good is because the wrestling has been good.
Yeah.
The wrestlers themselves put on great shows and do fantastic wrestling. It's just, I need a little bit more. But that match itself was a lot of good wrestling. Even Statlander, who I think is very stiff and sometimes doesn't know what the hell she's doing, did pretty all right. It was an okay match. It was good. And then finally, the show was ended with The Demand versus Anthony Bowens and Jet Speed.
Right.
And that is the whole card with all of the matches added from Tony.
Yeah. I would say that's a pretty solid collision. Like, we saw a lot of fun characters. We saw a lot of big characters. We saw some smaller characters in the mix. No, not too much story progression. I hope we're going to ramp up to that soon. I think you're right. It is hard coming off the holidays, coming off the end of a year and the beginning of a new year. You're like going down from that high of having all of those back-to-back-to-back pay-per-views. And now it's kind of just like we're in the grogs of the early January. But I think, like I said earlier about the first collision of the year, I think it was solid. I think Dynamite was solid. A couple notes on commentary. Commentary has changed a little bit in 2026. I don't know if they're going to keep it like this, but they've moved the commentary desk or table somewhere near the stage. So they're they're no longer in the crowd. They're no longer like right in front of the ring. They're like kind of off to the side. I feel like it's visually off to the left side of the stage where the wrestlers are coming in. And last night, particularly, I did not notice this for the first collision of the year or the first Dynamite, but I noticed last night they're all standing. So like everybody's just standing at the desk, and I thought it was just Moxley at first, but it was everybody, all three of them. Also, Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness were standing. So I don't know if that's something new that they're trying, or if that's something like old that they're going back to that I just don't remember. I don't know because I wasn't watching AEW in the beginning. But I think it's interesting that they're switching it up. Visually, I would prefer them in the audience and right in front of the ring. I just feel like you don't have a chance to break somebody over the commentary table if they're not there, which I would like to see more of. But, I don't know. Maybe they'll bring it back for pay-per-views or something.
I think it's just a collision thing. I'm pretty sure Dynamite, They're still out by the ring, but I guess, collision being and it could just be the arena. It could just maybe the arena wasn't big enough and they just had to move the people.
That's true. It very much could be venue based, which I did not think of. So that's cool.
No, overall, I'd say good start to the year. I need a little bit more storytelling.
I do too. I will say, though, as far as storytelling goes, Tekla is doing an amazing job right now of promos fucking against the Babes of Wrath and against Statlander. She is going all out. We have seen two fantastic promos from her just this year so far, just this past week. And the one last night where she's like crouched like a spider on the commentary desk. Like, that was, and in the crowd, so you have this live promo action between her and Statlander. That was really fun. That was really cool. I think she's doing great work there. And it is progressing her and the Triangle of Madness's storyline along.
There you go. That's the trade-off. They if they're going to stand at the desk, they have to stand on the desk.
That's it. You have to crouch like a spider over your microphone, please. We did have a moment also. I mean, just if you're wanting storytelling, we did have a moment of Don Callis family lore where we had Kyle Fletcher come in and confront Don Callis while he was trying to cut his own promo. He brings up Okada and the screwdriver, and he's like, this isn't fair. We can't let, we're supposed to be a family here. We can't just let this one asshole ruin it for two of us who are supposed to be just as equal parts of your family. So I think and I hope that that's meaning that, him and Takeshita, so Proteshka, I don't know, however they say it when they combine both of their names, Proteshita or something like that. Anyway, point is, I think that fucking Fletcher and Takeshita should leave the Don Callis family. I'm hoping that's what we're gearing up for.
Well, I mean, everybody hates to see the Golden Boy shine, man. Everybody hates to see a player play the game and win, but that's just the way it is. Okada knows what to do, man. He knew that screwdriver was there, and he said, "Yeah, I'm about to use that." You're telling me, Kyle, I'm super wrestler Kyle Fletcher, you weren't watching the match, right? Like you didn't see him take the screwdriver because you ran to the turnbuckle like you thought the screwdriver was there. So are you telling me you're not watching matches, Kyle? Because that doesn't sound like very pro wrestler to me. I think you need to be watching your buddy's matches. Because if you would have known that the screwdriver was gone, you wouldn't have had to bitch. But you know what? Now here you are complaining at Don Callis, the hot dog man, that things aren't fair. Well, leave. Because I do. I think Kyle Fletcher will do infinitely better on his own. He doesn't need a manager. He can mouthpiece his own.
Yeah.
So, fucking leave. I would be completely okay with that, and I think you would be just fine. Other than that, I hate the Don Callis family, but Okada's my boy.
I hate the Don Callis family. I want to see some rift in the Don Callis family. I mean, it just continues to grow. We're up to 20 people or something like that.
Like, actually, the number is 20.
Yeah, 20. Like, 10 times 2, which is heinous. I don't know. I want to see some rift there. But I think that's it for this week.
That's
all we got. We'll have Dynamite again Wednesday, Collision Saturday, do it all over again.